I'm really trying to understand because I might not survive in America if I don't know if banana is good or not. Is it good? Hmm? Hmm? It seems to be very cheap, easy to peel, tastes pretty fucking good. There's no seeds. Everything's fine. It is shaped pretty weird. Very hard to eat, huh? Well, I don't care about that stuff. You can sexualize anything all you want as long as like it's good value. But you are paying half of your money to the peel, not just to the banana, just to the peel. So you gotta make sure it's really cheap. It's not just like uh, deceptively cheap. But the reason why I will never eat bananas is because Onision is a banana. I don't know if he deserves to be eaten, or if it's actually tasty anymore. After you know this fact. Welcome to Survival Guide of Europe, Part 2. And it's modern survival guide. Meaning that it's not that simple. You can't just type into YouTube. You will get 4 pieces of what I'm talking about. If you can stitch everything together, you might understand what I'm talking about. But this is modern survival guide. People get stuck in loneliness and in isolation, and they don't understand what's going on. We need sanity first and foremost to understand how to break down the bullshit and not get consumed by it. That other people are likely stupider than you are if you watch this video and you understand what I'm talking about. Because for someone like me, being constantly under pressure and not actually knowing what the fuck I'm supposed to do, what am I supposed to worry about when it comes to the outside world? Because on the internet, I can just like, well, I need more subscribers, I need more attention, I need more people to talk to me, which is also kind of similarly difficult. Because when people try to talk on the internet, they just vomit out some feelings and the conversation is pretty much over. Like, they act like NPCs. There's different types of the same groups of people. I even created a list of NPC types. One-liner, goblin book, girl NPC, gravedigger NPC, and rotten NPC. And there's probably many more to come. Like, at some point, there can be bully NPCs who threaten you with withholding some kind of resource from you, whatever. Because you're stronger than the other ones. You're actually dominating the game, and the game has to be harder for you for some reason. So, it's weird. It's weird how you being attacked on all fronts because everyone's greedy and shitty in a weird way. Like, NPCs are basically nobodies. Like, they're not even social beings because you've seen the pattern. You don't want to see it anymore. Like, you don't want this shit to reoccur. People post one line or a book, and then they disappear or get offended and just like, oh, and none of this means anything. Thank you very much. But we're not talking about the internet. We're talking about allocation. We're talking about something even more complicated, which is the outside world, where it seems more interactive, it seems more dynamic. And it also even has like expectations, which is pretty bad. All right? We don't really have society or community. You must understand. At least I don't sense that shit around me. I would be able to hold on to that very easily. Government has built their own society and it's called school. You know, and then just like you climb that shitty ladder until the government really wants to save you and they have all the powers to do so. But society is a little bit weirder. Society has built the internet. You know, if you want to be interconnected, you need to use social media as best as you can. And this actually matters in the outside world too. Social media matters a lot. The way you use it, so you must understand, like, internet will matter, but in terms of social media, in terms of local spaces, you have to check the vibes of people, and most importantly, like your local people. In Europe, the social media is Facebook or Tinder, bro. Fucking Tinder is our social. I don't know, bro. I feel outdated by now because fucking Facebook is full of shit now. Facebook is full of private accounts. And the more private people become, then the less there's value to go around. Like they're withholding more and more value because they feel insecure. They feel like they don't want to interact with the social media. And so there's less social in that platform. And there's actually less social resources on that platform. I slowly saw like Facebook open up and close and then like become completely unusable over time, right? Which is kind of weird. And I don't know if people know where to go from here. Like they're holding on to Facebook, but they don't want to use it. That's probably the vibe. Meaning that another new social media is incoming, hopefully, and can be a game changer. Especially using AI, using like proper systems that we already learned over the years. Like someone can definitely make a better Facebook. Like, but it's not happening. Just like Minecraft 2 is just not happening. Like no one can actually print out the stupid game. For some reason, it's very difficult, and it's very difficult to make it popular too. So something else is the problem, but it has nothing to do with survival series. I'm just saying, once the problem is going to be solved and people will figure out how to make us adopt new systems, everything is going to change, and you have to be prepared. Survival is mostly about, you know, being prepared for changes that are potential to happen. Social media can shut down and reopen very differently. Who knows what's going to happen? But once you observe the changes that are happening, you know the direction that things are going, and then you can prepare. Because it's always like that. You can predict the future simply because the future tells itself. Everyone is telling their intentions, and their intentions sometimes clash together, and sometimes they decide where to go next. So for this part, and it's probably still going to be 40 minutes, I will discuss all these points. Most of these are actually relationships related, and as I've told you guys, if you just type in survival guide, you're going to get pieces of information. You need the whole thing. There's some zombie survival nonsense over here. There's some biblical apocalypse nonsense over here. Minecraft nonsense overall. Because everyone needs to know how to survive in Minecraft, right? Well, it's an imaginary world where anything is possible. So it is interesting to know how to survive, but I mean, I can wake up, I can stop playing Minecraft anytime I want. There's wilderness all around you. Beyond your comfort zone, there's only wilderness, where basically anything can happen, so maybe you'll find enough parallels and figure this shit out as well. But you have to combine everything together, which is like, how do you do that? Everyone feels so powerful and strong when they're talking about one thing, but when they have to handle multiple things, when they have to juggle information, they're losers. They're nobodies, bro. Very little amount of people can help you with these survival problems. People can barely understand what sanity is as a resource. And once you run out of sanity, nothing changes. Your life becomes just stale and boring, and nothing improves anymore. Without sanity, you can't even move forward. Now, it is a question how to get to the zero location where you start your actual survival, where you're completely independent because people stop pursuing you for resources or for attention, all that shit. You have to zero yourself out to be able to make progress. You have to reach a a stable position where nothing bad can happen. That's your most and greatest priority in terms of survival. Nothing bad's supposed to happen. You have to tame luck not to kick you in the face randomly, you know. Meaning that you're observing things, you're collecting data, and you're collecting clues, which I am going to tell you today. More clues that I found that might be useful. Things to think about if you want a better life. And again, I'm the guy that was digging through bullshit, digging through things that looked good, but I can't have it, so it must be bullshit. You know, like, if something looks good, but you can have it, you probably don't need it, you know. Do I need it then? Is there anyone who's gonna share it with me? Is anyone willing to share and cares about that thing that much? If something is good, then it's gonna create a win-win relationship. And you don't have to flex about it. You don't have to fucking show yourself off and pretend to be better than everyone else when you have the thing and I don't have the thing. So people fucking flex with families and relationships right now and having better jobs and better income and all that shit. They're just flexing. It's kind of meaningless. You don't actually need it, that means. If someone is just flexing and don't actually offer you that thing, because a better job means better life for everyone around you. Better income means that you provided more value. You injected more value into economy overall. So nobody needs that, clearly. That's pretty weird, but you have to say okay and move on. It's pretty, like, nobody fucking needs that. Did someone offer you relationships and jobs? Yeah, I don't think so. You have to, like, seek it fucking on your hands and knees. With blood, sweat, and tears. You have to seek for a job, let alone fucking work for a job. I mean, goodbye. Goodbye normal life. So this is why I don't want to talk about money issues, because I don't know, man. People are being tormented by this shit, and yet I don't know. The only thing I know is that abstract knowledge is not exactly good financially, right? What you need is like actual money to just come into your life, and you just have to grab it and not waste it. That's it. There's no abstract knowledge. You have to know exactly where to go, what to do, and how much money you're gonna get. I can't tell you what to do. I don't have jobs. I'm sorry, bro. I can't pay you right now. I want to get paid myself. That would be nice if I establish myself and find a job. I'll try to go for the influencer because I'm smart, because I'm unique. Like, I'm naturally fit for the position. And everyone fucking hates me. That's a bonus, bro. Everyone fucking hates me, it seems. I'll take it. I'll rage bait them if that's what they like. If that's the only thing that they fucking respond to. And obviously, being in mom's basement, not a big deal. Absolutely not a big deal if you're saving money that way. That's pretty fucking good move. But if you're getting mocked for that shit, well, you know that you're dealing with a lot of NPCs that have to be cut off from your life. That's a problem. If you only get mocked and you don't get any offers, nobody is nice with you, then the society is far, far away. You never know how far away you are from society if you don't have one. You know, it's not like once you finish school, you just naturally welcome back to school. It's just not how it is. You would think you spend 12 years in school and you're always welcome there. The doors are always open. But if it doesn't feel that way, it fucking sucks. Like, you should get some kind of reward after all, after being fucking tormented by government bullshit. But it is what it is. It's just for very special people who actually like this stuff, and you get 12 years to ask questions. And It's completely fine because it's filled with people from all over the place. Everyone's welcome to that special time of your life, basically. Just figure out what to do in school. And you're fine. Nobody cares about your grades. Nobody cares if you fucking succeed or not. Everyone just pretending. The best thing you can do is socialize. And again, for some special individuals, it's some government preparation experience. Because you're not going to get real jobs. Like, people are even fucking wear uniforms. And that's fucking bullshit. Uniforms to school, like, it's so unnatural, it's so stupid. It's definitely government-infested area. That's where it is. Like, government just fucking invest everything into schools. All of their attention. You don't even know. Because, the easiest thing to understand and what rhymes with schools are rules. So, now you know. Government actually doesn't talk to you, doesn't care about you, doesn't worry about you at all. Unless you have to go to school, then they worry about you a lot. You know, they talk to you directly. They do the programming of their own. While social programming is going on, they want to hijack that shit. This is just the nature of the clock. 143, 4 right now. Like a couple of years it was 3-3. Meaning that the priority is society, and then the government, then business, or whatever. Those are priorities. There's no even on a priority list of a community. Almost like it doesn't exist, it feels like. Meaning that something like army, the forced community, is for the people who really desire community desperately and they don't know what to do. They just would die without it. So they send to army. These kind of people. Like, if you're desperate, you're gonna behave a certain way and they know how to fucking pull you out of the fucking system and put you in an army. They know how to convince you. That's your community, bro. It's the only place. And it's bad. Communities don't want to exist right now because it's not the right time. Even everyone is trashing communism. Communism is like the dirtiest word ever. It doesn't work, guys. We have tried it many times. Blah, blah, blah. And technically, even being overly smart is not being respected at the moment. And you can say even like Europe is being disrespected. They have plenty of communities. But we have to act as if we're in European Union, not in some kind of separate community list. Right? We have to sort of follow the general expectations. And learning English is pretty important too, to remain social too. Yeah. This is just how the time works right now. I mean, if you're not desperate for an army, you can go for something even deeper and scarier, which fucking called church. And church is like half community and half old people going into fucking a very weird place. And you might get kicked out. I don't know, bro. Which is weird. And you're probably not, because everyone's supposed to be nice, like they are forced to be nice. If you're in trouble, like, they just have to be nice. Like, how the fuck you're an asshole in church? So that's one way to escape all the assholes and still find a sense of community in a way. But you're not going to build anything. You're not going to be asked to do anything if you don't want to. So it's a very, very half floaty community, I would say. I don't know where else you go from that. I was confused. Like, I hit UK, right? And I didn't know what the fuck to do anymore. Like, well, I'm here. There's things, there's buildings, bro. There's people. What do I do? What do I interact with right now? Because I actually am seeking for communities, like, naturally. I'm just a smart dude, like, I need that shit. So if you're smart enough, you can kind of build one yourself. You can find something. Like, I like card games personally, and that's probably a pretty good clue too. And now let's discuss the other clues. If you're lucky, finding a community or sense of community will keep you happy. All right, so clue number 12. Levels of relationships and job seeking. Everything comes in levels. As I've said, you start with 0. You make sure that you don't have toxic relationships, that you don't have forced relationships, that you don't know what to do with them. That no one's just calling you randomly on the phone and just asking you to do things. Like, you've got to cut off the noise first. Start with 0, and then from there, you ask, how far have you actually built relationships before? So, and it might be very weird, but in Europe, we're assholes, all right? We're just kind of assholes. We're not consumers like in America. Because there's nothing, just like, we're poor. Like, we have to be behaving a little bit differently. And which means two things. If people are corrupted, they're just going to be strictly assholes. And if they're not, they're going to be honest. Sometimes brutally honest. But and smart overall. Otherwise, if they can't get to this point, or they overshoot their honesty, they're just assholes. And most people kind of fall in this category. Only thing you have to decide is, like, if someone did a bad thing to you, are they assholes or not? And it's very easy decision. Sometimes you're like, okay, I'll hold off from labeling this person as an asshole. It's just like overly rude and painful to deal with person. But at some point, they collect the stars, they collect the asshole tokens, and then you just like fucking say goodbye to them. Or they say goodbye to you first. It's just so much better. You break up with me first because you're an asshole. Like, there's no other way. Like, no one should break relationships in Europe. No one should be rejectful and ignorant in any way. They shouldn't do that. So if they're doing that, they're like strictly asshole. Like, that's a straightforward way to become an asshole, is be ignorant and rejectful for a very particular reason. Because again, like, building relationships is pretty interesting. Even a conversation is like level 1. A lot of people get to level 2 or 3, they find a lover next to them. I don't know what they do with them, what they do together, and the baby's born, and now there's a level 3 where, like, they have to take care of each other. And that's it. That's where they stop. It's just 1, 2, 3, easy. But if you actually want to survive, you don't want to stop. You want to keep on moving as far as you can. That's the whole point about survival. Which is clue number 24. I mean 27, I'm sorry. Definition of survival is to continue moving until you're stopped by nature itself. Until you naturally cannot move forward anymore. So I had a conversation that didn't suck balls, and I saved it, and that was nice. I met up with girls before and sort of almost had a date. And that's about it. I went to level 2, so that's cool. I didn't even kiss a girl. or had a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship ever in my life in almost 30 years. People call themselves virgins. I don't even get to that level to like observe myself as a virgin or in a sexual way when I can't even fucking have a girlfriend. Like, bruh, I wasn't even rejected in that way. I'm just like in nowhere, in the middle of nowhere, with nothing to interact with. But you must understand, if people are rejectful assholes, again, they can only reach level 3. They can only like grab someone and drag it into their lives. And it's almost like a forced fake relationship that doesn't shine on anyone else. You can congratulate them. Oh, they made a baby. Congratulations. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. I've seen it. I don't care. All right. It's still impressive because they care about relationships so much. They went ahead and like beaten me by one step. Cool. You probably invested a lot more money than I did because I don't give a fuck that much. If something happens, I will respond. I will try to, build something with it. Similarly to the jobs, I don't know. Again, I don't want to talk about money because it's weird. But you can get any sort of job you want technically. The more you focus on it. You might still not get the money though. Especially if you live surrounded by assholes or a broken economy that doesn't want to pay you for anything or doesn't tell you what to do. Then it's like, well, it's pointless. Clue number 13. You're not desirable using privacy. So I've talked about Facebook and Tinder, right? And the privacy levels rising up. If someone has a private account, run away from them because you don't want to deal with a person like that. You don't want to deal with a private person who wants to keep things for themselves. You don't want to actually socialize. Well, that's a broken person. You can unless you really like them, it's time to let go because there's nothing to hold on to. If they push you away, they have a locked door and you will never come back. You know, they will just ignore your existence. You don't want that to fucking happen. Yes, if they receive a lot of spams and nonsense, it's sort of understandable, but it's still like, just stay away. Keep your distance. Or just treat it as a fun activity to receive things for free. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? I don't understand. So this is a problem that you don't want to have in your life. You don't want to be a private person, a happily private person, where you're rejecting people left and right. What's the point? By the way, taking a step back again, relationships, dating, then you take care of each other, you help each other out. That's pretty important. But then you expand beyond, you reach more people, you build something. There's more levels to relationships. Yeah, you project happiness, you try taking care of other people too, not just yourselves. At some point you get to the level 3 and it's like, well, I can't take care of anyone else though. But I can make a baby for myself because that's cool. That's an interesting thing to do. And similarly with jobs and how you seek a job and how you secure a job, you have to go through levels as well. You have to understand the basics. And the higher you go, you're probably going to get paid more as an indication. Or you're going to get a more comfortable position of work of some kind. So I've taken a step back because I didn't quite explain it. Anyways, girlfriend is mostly a friend, first and foremost. That's the whole point as well. Technically, you probably had level 2 relationships because you probably had friends. And you go out with them every now and then. So you probably kind of know what you expecting from a girl. You know, you're expecting to get to that level 2 fairly easily, to make friends with them. And if you can't, they're assholes. It's fucking annoying. I was curious at school of like, okay, now I have so many guy friends, I want to have a girlfriend and see what happens. I'm not worried of what happens. You can reject me anytime, something weird happening, but it would be just nice to connect. Like, what's the problem? And you can sort of force this sort of relationship yourself. You can approach the girl and show self-esteem, invest that shit. I don't have self-esteem though. It's not that easy. You're not being told enough advice to be able to do things successfully around here. Now, when it comes to friend zone, you don't want to be stuck in a friend zone. You want to still continue progress. But this is a good place to start, though. This is where you want to be. Like, you should be happy about it. That you gotta start. That you can talk to a person in the first place. That you have an open door for discussion and exchange of feelings. Once you establish that, that's technically a friend zone. And it's, again, this level 2. If you can go out with a person, you can hang out with them. As long as they don't treat you as an eternal friend, that's great. You can move to level 3. You don't want to be stuck, again, in any of these levels. You don't want to get stuck because you can keep improving as a human being. You keep wanting more and better things. So if you desire level 3 more than the other person, you might have to break up. You might have to leave the friend zone and just give them a middle finger. Because you're bored. You're expecting more. Clue number 15. So, respecting old and powerful people is wrong. I went to school. This is where the insight comes from. I went to a special school to learn a profession. Yeah. But I don't care. But I still have to deal with teachers again. And all of a sudden, there was a discussion of like, well, what makes you respect a person? I don't like behavior. Their behavior makes me respect them. Not because they're older than me and more powerful than me. That's not what I care about at all. You know, I don't want to confront them and fight them if they're older than me, you know, and they're more powerful. Like, it's pretty obvious. Doesn't mean I have to respect them, though. Doesn't mean that I have to show them appreciation of some kind and just let them do whatever they want. Especially with me. Ask whatever they want. Like, you're gonna be disrespected. I'm sorry, bro. And this goes on with every single old and powerful person. You cannot give them attention. They're just gonna waste it. However, you might be able to care for them, to be aware that they exist. As long as they leech out, as long as you leech out their powers away. You know, as long as you getting something in return. They have to respect you, most importantly. Or prove that they are actually good enough to be respected. They're not old and just weird in their own fucking ways. So they have something to offer and you want to work for it. Maybe then that makes sense. There's a lot of opportunities with these people. So I can call them walking treasures. That's a clue number something. 24. Old people might have something to offer. They're more walking treasures that you must be aware of. But again, nothing to be respected. If they can't do something about it, you have to like actively disrespect and tempt them to use their powers. You want to see what it's all about, right? Like, what the fuck? So it's actually disrespecting them is the right move. You're trying to get into a conflict with them because then at least you're going to get a pretty interesting experience. They're powerful enough to not do bad things to you as well. Powerful enough to figure out a better way to solve problems than just the basic shit that people in teenage years and young adult years do. Like, nah, bro. They have to show some special moves, bro, to be respected. Now, I'll tell you how to deal with a girl. All right. Why did we had to talk about old people? I'm not quite sure. But you know how girl has requirements, high expectations, high dreams, so to speak. But it's all just dreams. It's all delusional. Anyways, we figure that much. So the best way to handle a girl is to not ask her questions, because she's always gonna vomit and fill in the space with fluffy desires that she has. Like, don't let women think and dream in front of you, because they're gonna make you feel miserable that way. Don't let them say no. Try to connect with them so they don't just throw rejection over and over again. You know? Unless you don't like them anymore, then what's the point? But don't let them vomit their delusional thinking and corrupt everything around you. You have to take initiative. How does that look like? I can't tell you right now. Oh, I can't show you right now. We might get to examples later. But even in these, like, fucking super male alpha male podcasts, bro, at some point there is a point in time where the male starts talking, they let the women do the delusional thing, but then they have to shut up, and they have to shut up very hard, because their delusions are stupid. And you have to sort of have this mentality that you can still allow a woman to give you delusions, and then you rip them apart and say it's stupid, and then just fucking let's hang out or whatever you want to do. You know, just rip it apart. It is gonna be painful. Again, that's why they're vomiting all over the place. They're fluffifying the atmosphere. So whenever you destroyed their thing, they can be upset about it. But you just destroy everything anyways and move on with your life. Like, it's pointless to let them fucking infect you with this shit. At some point, maybe you will respect them and allow them to do that. But just like there's the TikToks going around of like, which restaurant to go to. Who fucking cares? You know where to go. You know what you like. You shouldn't listen to a girl or what she likes and all that shit, because, again, starts vomiting delusional fucking ideas. It pisses off everyone. You know, when you're making decisions, don't let the fucking girl do it. Holy shit. And the biggest decision of, like, what does she like? What kind of man she likes to have? Like, oh, oops, you asked the wrong question. You stepped on a mine, bro. That is Minecraft right there. Fucking asking girl questions. One of the most important clues, one of the most basic things is, how do you deal with boredom? I think it's 17. And you need to improve yourself, obviously. Fix what bothers you. That's the best way to improve yourself. You must be aware of what bothers you. Some people are actually fat. Some people don't have enough self-esteem. I don't know. Sometimes it can even bother you not to have enough oxygen in your room because you always have your window closed. I don't know. Everyone knows that exercise is something everyone misses out on. So you can start there. You can also allow yourself more freedom to do whatever you want. That's something people miss out on. They restrain themselves. They follow too many rules sometimes. That's also pretty fucking bad. As long as those rules turn into excuses of not doing things. It's kind of fucking weird. Clue number 18 is that while you're doing all these things, you gotta do them fast. In fact, the best exercise is the one you do fast, and like very intense fast exercise is the most accurate, the most effective one you can do. So speed, also very relevant. Because you're on your own, speed matters a lot more than just like in social situations. In America, I explain, Americans deal with the very interesting way where they have to make flawless memories, basically. So those memories kind of like live on forever. You can just tune in like an episode of a Disney show, and it's like, well, that's a very solid memory that you can always watch 10 years later. 10 years later, you can remember that thing because it happened. You can craft your own shit, but you have to look flawless. You actually have to find beauty and stuff, and it takes a lot of time. So, speed is not exactly a high value in America as it is in Europe, where nothing really matters in Europe. You can be as beautiful as you want. You're probably going to be very insecure about it, though. So, because people will approach you of like, fucking zombie apocalypse will start happening for sure if you're pretty in Europe. Like, you're not going to know where to put the fucking beauty, and you're not going to be able to store it that easily. Yes, I explained the money clue that it cannot come from abstract advice. You have to know exactly where to go, how much money you're going to get, and how you're going to spend it. You have to know all these things exactly. I can give you some clues of how to spend your money, but it comes down to just making sure you don't overspend on food and buy fucking potato chips. I mean, it's just that simple. I found sort of a definition of match. So, yes. While in wilderness there are matches, but there's matches in the real world. And match is also very important. It starts a fire, right? Proper relationships, when relationships just come together. Meaning, the definition is to be able to handle other person's burdens. Imagine you're dealing with a celebrity, right? Can you handle the spotlight? Can you handle the people's attention? That is the question. Will you actually care too much? I can potentially corrupt, but I still not gonna care. I can corrupt the other person if they're celebrity, but because people are too nosy anyways. What the fuck? It's their fault. It's gonna be their fault anyways, and it's just gonna be a funny thing to watch. So, being a perfect match to more people is gonna be available as long as you improve yourself. And then that means you're so improved that you can handle other people's burdens. You can understand them. Whatever happens in the past, I'm moving through all of these very quickly because we have decided it's 40-minute episodes. I think it's entanglement 22, right? So entanglement is a pretty interesting word that I came up with. Whatever happens in the past is very important. You are entangled with a lot of people from the past, especially the assholes who, decided to be assholes in a particular very important moment in your life. They have made a decision, I'm going to be an asshole because that's the easier thing to do. Whatever happens, right? That means they're entangled. They're twisted into this behavior. They have decided to click themselves into an asshole position. At some point, you will have enough powers, very likely, to unlock the untwist the twist, the untangle them, and approach them face to face and ask a few questions of like, why did you do that? It's a pretty good question. Very interesting entanglement. You can't allow people untwist themselves in secret and just disappear. They are assholes, and you have to remember that shit. And you must not let that fucking go. Unless they're very pretty. Or they're sort of not assholes in a very weird way. Because you can still send a message reminding them that they're an asshole. You know? Otherwise, it's probably good to approach them. If you can, if you have enough self-esteem. And confront them and ask a simple question. You know? So, don't forget the entanglement. Really fucking weird thing. And probably, again, exclusive to Europeans, but holy shit, man. The biggest entanglement is me and Monica's story, and I don't want to talk about it. It's, you know, my biggest high school crush that still haunts me to this day. A lot. Just her name alone. It pisses me off, bro. Her name alone is the most attractive part about her, which is fucking weird, bro. So, just like the respect of old and powerful is wrong, you're simply not supposed to respect things you don't even understand. Once you're smart, and everyone behaves this way, once you're smart enough, then yeah, you get humbled. Your life might actually change, and you might start considering new things that exist. But that's why you're just not supposed to distract yourself with things you don't understand. If people cannot explain themselves in the comments, if they have fucking weird feelings that you just don't understand, there's nothing to respect. They're losers. They can't explain themselves. This is a self-defense against people who withhold information, who make things mysterious and annoying as an excuse. Well, you have the self-defense to not give them respect, because you just don't understand. It's just like, what's going on? Why do I have so many questions about your behavior? Again, these sometimes will lack specific examples. I understand, because we still have to go through them very quickly as well. The asshole thing I've already explained pretty much. And the rest I also just put in just now. So we kind of did it. Yeah, the disrespect thing. If you don't understand something, it's almost like rude not to ask more questions. To ask more questions. You have to be honest. If you're smart enough, you can be honest. And sometimes the honest thing is to ask questions. But like, ask it honest, not just fucking drop a question mark. Like, what the fuck is that? Then you can smell an asshole. You can smell an asshole just based by their efforts. Because they're just gonna take the easy way out. And eventually, being an asshole is the easy way out. Anyways, I hope you learned something. We're gonna move on to part 3 eventually. Also, yes, there's a mention of Britain's Got Talent. The hidden talents didn't originate in America, okay? You're not gonna find hidden talents. Everyone is kind of like right in front of you, very open, very popular. And they might not even be talented as much as they think they are. Fucking Billie Eilish can disappear, and I'm not gonna miss that person, all right? But yeah, this is where Britain Got Talent was born. The idea is very easy to find. It's the very first idea that there's hidden talents, that there's people in Europe completely hidden from the spotlights, and they just kind of gave up on even chasing the damn thing. They don't want to show themselves off because they don't think that people even deserve that. They don't have enough social and, again, community skills to be able to unleash their talents, which is very, very painful for Europeans if they don't understand this fact. That amongst us walk in a lot of like really powerful and cool people that decided not to contribute to society. So it should be pretty fucking sad. But That's the treasure hunt. That's the hunt of finding those people and unlocking their potential is what is necessary. Anyways, see you guys next time. Hopefully I got unlocked, am I right? Subscribe!